everyone. It is week 5, day 2 of the LCS with coverage brought to you by Alienware. I'm joined right now by APA, who is the new Team Liquid superstar. And we're watching the triathlon, I guess, in between games.
Whatever it's called.
Silent Speedway?
Yeah.
Have you done this yet?
I've not done it, but I used to practice silent drifting on my old amateur team, so I feel like I did pretty well.
Okay, when was the last time you practiced it?
It was actually, well, I didn't do the exact route they're doing, but I would just do silent drifts around the map. So it was probably within recent 2-ish months.
Very good. All right, so you have, I think, been one of the really exciting storylines for the LCS since you joined up just a short time ago. What has everything been like from your end? Because I saw that you had, I think, less than 24 hours notice that you were going to be playing. So what has this experience been like for you?
It's definitely been very surreal and hectic. The day I was promoted, it was just a normal day. I wake up, scrim with a challenger squad, and then after our scrims and I was playing solo queue, they told me, they pulled me aside. But it's just been very hectic. I've been enjoying it a lot. Obviously today, losing sucks, but there's still a lot to look forward to.
How do you feel about your own personal play, especially as a newly joined North American mid laner?
I feel like I've been playing pretty well. Yesterday, I think I probably had my best game so far of the 4. I think today's lane, I played pretty decent. I was stacking waves, calling for dives with Piosik. We kind of messed up one, but still worked out. Still got a little bit of a lead. I still think I have a few weaknesses, showcased kind of a little bit today, where necessarily I'm not keeping up as much as I can mid game. He got a really big CS lead over me towards the end of the game, but I think overall I've been playing to LCS standard.
All right. I know that there are ways to do both, but when you enter the LCS game or the match that you're going to be playing, is your mind in a place where you're okay, I really want to sit back, do whatever the team needs me to do, et cetera, or are you more one of those mid laners that's I want to fucking kill people and go and make the big plays and do all the big stuff?
Well, at the start, I had conversations with pretty much everyone on the team, and the big focus was just to not get pulled around and essentially play the game that I want to play, because a lot of times in scrims everyone's winning lane, so they'll be hey, we can do this, hey, we can dive, blah blah blah. But a lot of it's just been trying to play my own game. If the big play angles show up, today the Cassio where I got the ulti from Pixel Bush after a dragon play, I'll look for it, but I'm not going to try to grief the game for a 1v5.
Yeah. So, where do you see yourself among the other mid laners in the league? Because you're newly joined, but I'm kind of curious. Do you feel like you're in the top half of mid laners? Do you feel like you're oh, I'm at the very bottom, I got to start working my way up to be ahead of some of these other folks?
I still feel it's hard to say because I haven't faced a lot of them. I've yet to face Gory, Jojo Pune. I guess I won't face Palafox because
I assume you've scrimmed some of these guys.
I've scrimmed Jojo, yeah. But scrimming stage is a bit different environment. I would like to say I'm top half though. I feel the mid laners I've faced, I've done actually pretty well versus. MS yesterday, I think with my Ziggs versus Lysandro game, I think I played pretty well. So I would say top half.
All right. So you're top half. Who else do you think is up there with you?
I think there's Jojo, Gory, MNS, and then I think Insanity is also pretty good.
Jojo, Gory, MNS. I'm trying to think if there's anyone obvious that you are leaving out.
My first thought was Jensen.
Yeah.
Because I do think Jensen's pretty good, but I feel that would just be my personal top 5.
Yeah.
So he'd probably be a honorable mention, if you call it that.
I mean, it mirrors kind of the standings of the team, so it's not there's anything too crazy going on there. I get it. But yeah, it's just, it's interesting to see, a newly minted player in the league get so much attention. What has it been like playing with these other 4 dudes?
I talked about this in a different interview, and it's just I'm not in a sense intimidated by it, but more so just I've been trying to use them as a resource. I talked with them about the game as much as I can. I spend probably 15 hours a day in the TL office, so I just talk to them as much as I can about the game and just to learn from them because they're obviously great players.
Are you the person that is at the Alienware training facility the most?
I would say it's me, Jan, and Core at the office the most.
Okay. Are you all pulling about 15 hours a day?
Yeah. Even Summit and Piosik, I think they just go home because they like to be more comfortable in their apartments. But I know, like, I see them playing solo queue. So I think all of us put, like, pretty long hours in.
Yeah. That is crazy. Are you concerned at all about burning out?
Not really. I've always put in, like, insane amount of hours. Like, even when I was on the Challenger squad, I was putting, like, 15, 16 hours. It's always, like, how I feel. I feel the best when I'm playing as much as I can.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm thriving then, so I'm not worried about burning out.
Yeah, I think it was you that Cubby gave a shout out to because we were doing Hotline League this week, and Boostio, who's a Valorant player, called in and was saying that he thought that the League players did not practice hard enough, and he was saying that you had. I think Cubby was saying, and I'm pretty sure it was you, that you had some insane amount of solo queue matches.
I think I'm getting close to like 1,300 right now.
It's pretty good. So in what for how long, and what's the date range?
Just from the start of the season, so like January to now.
What drives you so much to play so much? Like, I think a lot of people, as much as folks on Reddit or Twitter or social media want to say things like, oh, it's just playing video games. It's such an easy job. Like, doing anything for 15 hours a day for so many days is crazy. So what is driving you or pushing you to be able to play and practice that much?
I think the best example I can give is yesterday in the C9 match. Like, yesterday's match was so insanely fun, like throughout the entire thing. And then when we won, it was just like rushes of dopamine and adrenaline and everything. It's like, you have to play for those moments. You have to be willing to work and grind. And then, hopefully you'll be paid out through like moments like that. We're just like so insanely fun. Like at the end, me and Piosik are just screaming, nice, into our mics, like after we ace them and we're running down mid lane.
You are perhaps not the best person on the team to ask this question, but just because it popped into my mind, you guys do seem as though you are probably working harder than everybody else, right? Which is what Jodo, I think, said was the goal for the team. Like, we're going to outwork everybody. And yet, as a team, Team Liquid isn't up there yet with, like, the EG Golden Guardians C9 crew, at least in the standings. You tell me if you think you're just as good as them. I'd be fine to hear that. But what do you think it is that's stopping the team from hitting that level?
I feel like right now it's just our mid game just isn't the best. I think we're just by far, and I mean like by far, the best early game team. Like in pretty much all of our games, we had massive leads. I'm sure if you go back and check this VOD, we probably had like some insane gold lead.
No, they showed the chart afterwards, and we were laughing about it up here because it's just like you never see TSM on the gold lead at any point in time. It's just like this massive dome.
Yeah, like I'm sure we had a massive gold lead if I go and check. So it's just like, I think we've been trying to fix up some of our mid game issues of like getting caught. Like I got caught a couple times. Some got caught a couple times yesterday's games, and then just focusing more on like mid game macro. I think the instant we solve that issue, I feel like we'll be the best team in the league, and it won't be close.
Yeah. All right, so we're getting in a champ select right now between C9 and 100 Thieves. Any interesting bans that you're seeing pop up here?
The only interesting one is like Viego, because he's still a meta champ, but he's not as popular. I guess it's just for closer, because he's like kind of just considered like the Viego leasing guy.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
How much do you pay attention? Because not only are you in the LCS and you're trying to figure out what's going on with you and your team, but you also have to figure out what's going on with all these other teams. So how much have you paid attention to C9 and 100 Thieves and what they do in draft and their favorite champions, etc.?
I try to watch like pretty much every league as much as I can. Like even NACL. Like I've obviously when I was down there, I watched all the matches. Like I watch NACL, LCS, LCK, LPL, LEC, like as much as I can, pretty much.
Yeah. Any thoughts on what 100 Thieves issues seem to be lately?
I feel like they've just been extremely passive. Like, I think they have good. I mean, they obviously have good players. A lot of them are like champions. I guess 3 out of 5 of them. And then, I just feel like they're very passive.
Well, I guess we will see how things go in this C900T game, but not during this interview. Thank you so much for the interview. Is there anything that you want to say to any of the fans out there?
It was a tough game today, but I know in playoffs we will not disappoint people.
Very good. Thank you so much for the interview. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things LCS right here on my YouTube channel. LCS is here, and so is my coverage. And while you might think that most of what I do here is just interview people, it's actually also about trying to impress people because reputation matters at the LCS. You need to look stylish. That's why right now I'm sporting my 720H headset available from Alienware. But also, the coolest thing that really helps me stand out from the crowd is walking into LCS with my new M18, featuring their new Legend 3.0 design. The anodized aluminum lid with the dark metallic moon finish is very cool and helps me stand out from the crowd. People know I'm the coolest when they see me with an Alienware notebook that has an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 40 series GPU in it. So thank you so much to Alienware for sponsoring and helping me stay fashionable.